8,760. Is this a number that means anything to you?
I would imagine it's the height that we've climbed from the lake.
No, it's not. 8,760 is the amount of available hours in a year that your machine tool can run.
And we've come to the home of Erowa, which is in Switzerland, as you can see with the Alps.
It is beautiful here. We're going to be speaking to all the guys from Erowa and find out how they can unlock the maximum potential of your machine tool. Now, Mark, you just said the home of automation. What do you mean by this?
Well, I've been in the industry a long time, as you know, and when you see a brand, which I think is one of the leading brands, leading automation, work holding, tooling solutions, Erowa are always there.
Well, 1971, you were born. 1971, Erowa started. So that's a few years old, but they've grown so much as a company, from 2 people to 560, 11 subsidiaries, 22 agents, a very successful company.
And also one thing I'd like to demonstrate is that these guys did form in 1971. They have fared much better than I have, but they started in the EDM section with 2 people.
Right, let's go back now and think about the relevance of 8,760 hours. Be realistic. We're always going to have an element of downtime on the machines, but we're here to find out how to maximize the current machines that we have using the Erowa products.
And when you look at the Erowa products, it's very easy to see a product, but I think this graphic's absolutely fantastic, because when you're looking at trying to maximise your machine tool by buying a concept or the full package from Erowa, how many hours you can get out of your existing machine tool.
It's quite interesting, and it's showing you by adding each one how you can increase that production time. But if I've got a machine, would I just automatically think, well, I'm using that machine to its best of its ability, and then I could easily buy another one? Is that right?
Well, it's not easy, is it? It was skill shortage, for instance. Do you buy your next machine tool and find your next machinist? Very difficult. But also from the point of view, if you actually integrate Erowa, you don't have to have that capital outlay as much as a machine tool. I think that's more cost effective.
Always maximising the current machine that you have. Right, next up, there's another graphic, and this graphic is going to show Erowa's flexible manufacturing concept. Explain this.
Integration, that's what this is about. It's basically taking the whole system from start to finish, and I think this blue line actually shows you exactly the path of that, and that is the full system that Erowa works so well, and why they're probably one of the best in the world.
And we're going to find out more about that throughout this video, but first I want to meet Patrick, who is the head of sales here. Patrick, you've been with the company almost 20 years, which is incredible. How's that been? Where did you begin?
Yeah, I started here in the company in the year 2000 as a technical sales, and I had quite an interesting time and always a new challenge. Yeah,
very successful, I can see that. Now, talk us through the products that Erowa bring to market.
Yeah, Erowa, we provide system solutions for increasing the efficiency on machining tools. So what does that mean? We could simply say it's an automation company, but in fact it's actually much more than that, because we rather provide an entire concept for increasing the efficiency on the machining tools. And this concept we will later hear more about, I guess, is consisting on 4 steps.
Talk us through the products then that you bring to market.
Yeah, the 4 steps are consisting on, first of all, the part what we call the standardization. That's all about clamping systems, quick action clamping systems with a very high precision, supplying an interface between the machine table and the workpieces. Then secondly, it's all about what we call the organization, is preparation and setting up of parts outside the machine, of course, to save valuable machining time on the machine itself. Then the third part is probably the most understandable part, which is the robotics, all about loading and unloading parts. And last but not least, very important these days, the whole software, the process control systems, which lead the whole process from the order income to the finished part.
Now let's talk about the automation side of things, because in the UK we kind of perceive automation, robotics, pick and place, but you're very different, aren't you? Where does automation and Erowa sit together?
Yeah, Erowa started with the automation always on machining tools. So we're really focusing on loading of machining tools, and this not for high serial production, but rather for low volume and high mix production. That means originally we're coming from the tool and die business, and we are used to automate parts actually down to batch size 1.
Right, this is quite interesting, and that's what this video is all about. It's not all about high volumes, but it's about more variety than anything else. Let's head over to Mark, who's with Ian, and he's going to speak about the first concept, which is standardisation.
Ian, before we talk about the first stage in the concept, tell us a little bit about REM Systems and how long you've been working with Erowa.
REM Systems has been the UK distributor for Erowa for over 35 years now, and predominantly the backbone of the business has always been around the work holding and the 0-point solutions. But over the last 5 or 6 years, the market has changed. Customers are looking for more flexible solutions in work holding, looking at automation and trying to increase the spindle hours of machines in the marketplace.
And when you look at the typical UK market, what's been more successful out of the portfolio of the Erowa products?
The best-selling robot is the Robot Compact 80. That's a very good seller. That's the best seller in the UK. And then we've done a number of linear lines within the UK market over the last 4 or 5 years. And we actually installed one of the largest ones, the 30-metre linear line in Swindon, just over 2.5 years ago.
And when you look at the future, Ian, do you see that is a more of the concept of actually selling solutions from our own, not just talking about the standardisation?
I think that in the years to come, most definitely, there's a great demand and interest into the automation, and it's really developing with the customer, the understanding, taking them through those 4 steps, the stages that gets the final goal is automation. So some businesses will go straight to automation, some businesses will take those 4 steps on the route to finally automating one or a quantity of machines within their business.
So when you talk about the concept, Ian, what does FMC stand for?
Flexible manufacturing concept it stands for.
And when you look at the first part of that, which is standardisation, what does that actually involve, or what does that actually show as a product?
Well, that's work holding and the 0-point solutions that Erowa produce, and that gives a good repeatability of 2 microns. And then, as you can see here, this is one of our best-selling chucks, which is a UPC chuck. And as you can see from this racking in this automation cell, this chuck will be able to take all this range of different size pallets. So you've got 148 pallets, 320 by 320, down to 50mm size pallets.
So the standardisation really starts with that chuck then?
Yes, that's the first step. You work out with your customer is what their kind of idea of what their workload and part sizes they're going to be using on a machine tool, and from that step is you work out what the chuck system is required.
So really, as an engineer with a machine tool shop, let's say, I've got one machine, and effectively you could be producing a number of different sized products based on the standardisation.
Correct.
Ian, what a great example of different pallet sizes and different work pieces that you've actually got here. And the repeatability of 2 microns is fantastic.
Yeah, and that can be carried across throughout anybody's business.
Now, over to Lyndsey, who's talking to Patrick about the second stage, which is organisation in front of the CMM from Erowa.
Thanks, Mark. Now on to the second process, which is organisation, something I'm personally not very good at. So why are we standing in front of the CMM here?
Yeah, measuring is one of the most important processes in the organization, part of the concept. With the help of these measuring machines, in combination with the chuck systems, we are able to preset and to prepare the parts outside the machine. And on the other hand, of course, also the quality checking process is very important, especially in a manufacturing environment.
Yeah, it certainly is. Now we're standing in front of a CMM. Maybe in the UK we don't see many Erowa CMM systems. Talk us through why this is such a quality system.
Yeah, this is probably right. So most of the Erowa CMMs are integrated in our automation solutions, or at least integrated in our FMC concept. So we are not very well known maybe as a CMM supplier, but in fact we are standing here in front of a very high quality machine, because we have a little bit different requirements on these machines. Whereas most of the quality checking machines are standing in a measuring environment in a separate room, our machines are most often in the shop floors, integrated next to machines and next to very rough environment, let's say.
Different temperatures as well.
Exactly, yeah. We need a very stable machine from a mechanical point of view, first of all, and also with regard to the temperature stability. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Patrick. Now let's head over to a slightly different facility. It's probably a couple of 100 yards away from us, where Mark is talking automation.
Yes, Lyndsey, automation's certainly been the buzzword over the last few years in the market. Ian, tell me how the automation makes up the third part of the concept here at Erowa.
So Erowa offers a complete range of automation solutions to meet everybody's requirements now. So we can go from a very small pallet with a few kilos on it to anything up to 4.4 tonnes with a very bespoke pallet to meet their customers' requirements.
So you've said, and I've seen in the field, that the Compact 80 is one of the best-selling products in the UK, but also worldwide for Erowa. Why is that?
It's a small footprint, 2 metre cubed. It can load 1 or 2 machines. You can have a third magazine to give it extra capacity. It can quite easily manage anything up to around 55 to 60 pallets of 148 with an average part height.
Do you think, Ian, that the reason that Erowa are very flexible and been very, very successful is because the type of products that you actually got, like the Easy 80, for instance, it can be adapted to machines that are already installed and give a better footprint?
Yeah, exactly. So we can install to new machines or to existing machines out in the field. We can connect to all the major manufacturers' control systems. So there's quite an easy installation process to meet the customer's requirements.
How about if a customer doesn't have any air actually at the system? Can you actually integrate with that?
Yeah, so we're able to offer air dock systems to open and close the chucks.
Interestingly enough, that takes in the final part of the process, integration. Now, Lyndsey's going to find out more with Patrick.
Thanks, Mark. So integration for me, almost to integrate something, is pulling everything together. Describe what the final part of the concept is.
Yeah, the integration is actually the automation of the process with its corresponding data. Our JMS job management system, JMS 4.0 as we call it, covers the whole process from importing data from an ERP or MES system actually to the actual machining process and to the post-calculation and evaluation of the orders.
So this is Industry 4.0 really, isn't it?
Yes, exactly, yeah. JMS 4.0 takes an important place in the Industry 4.0 overall concept, and the functionalities of JMS 4.0 are an important part within a smart factory. Yeah.
Is this something that is unique to Erowa? Do a lot of people provide this kind of software, this whole system, or is it just yourself?
I would say so, yeah. We concentrate a lot of developing of software, and the interesting thing on the JMS 4.0 is that it's completely built modularly. That means we have a wide range of different software modules, which allows easily to link different machine tools with different controls and also different machine technologies.
So you're telling me you're getting all of this data together, but what are you doing with this data? What does it actually mean?
Yeah, in this overall manufacturing process, we have a lot of different data, beginning from the order data, which comes actually from the customer. So we have to produce NC programs, or customers produce the NC programs. JMS 4.0 just makes sure that the right data is at the right place on the right point of time. And this goes further to the manufacturing process, where we have a lot of different tools what we need, and that's all controlled by JMS 4.0 actually.
And making the whole process seamless. Now my final question to you is, why choose Erowa?
Yeah, so first of all, we are an international company, so we have worldwide presence and can support our customers all over the world. Then we now today learned about these 4 steps. I think that's unique, that we really can support and help our customers to get everything from one single source and everything controlled by the 4-step concept.
But you're neutral, aren't you?
Yes, that's another good advantage, of course. We are able to connect to a lot of different machines, machine brands, machine control types, etc. And the whole system from the standardization up to the integration is built up completely modular. That means we can really configure the solutions according to the needs of the customers and their problems.
Thank you so much for your time, Patrick.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
We hope today has educated you on your automation needs, and we also hope that you're going to consider Erowa as a brand going forward.
Well, we always learn on Swarf and Chips. Erowa, what a portfolio of products that you get in the automation system. Now, one thing you need to look at is the repeatability. To have 2-micron repeatability for your customers' need is fantastic.
Yeah, and that helps with traceability going forward.
It does, and I think when you look at the whole integration of what they offer, I don't think there's many companies in the world that can actually beat Erowa.
So how do we get in contact with Erowa?
Well, they'll always welcome you here in Switzerland, like they have us, which has been fantastic, but also you can contact REM Systems, and they have many products out in the field, and they can show the consistency and how they're saving money for their customers.
Yeah, and that's in the UK. Now, that 8,760 hours is a utopia, but we just could quite almost reach it. What do you think?
I think it's achievable.
Thank you. Thank you for watching this week's Swarf and Chips. As always, we love to hear your comments. Put them in the comments box below, and don't forget to like and follow the channel. And what do we always say? I don't know it in Swiss.
I don't know.
Keep those spindles turning.